Hello everybody and welcome to the Elite Dangerous livestream. This is the beta feedback livestream with me, Edward Lewis, the community manager at Frontier Developments, one of them, and of course the wonderful Sandro Samarco,
Hello.
lead designer on Elite. How are you today?
I'm feeling pretty good.
So let me tell you, hello everybody by the way, hello, greetings everyone.
Hello.
Thanks so much for showing up in the chat today. It is really, really good to see you. We hope to have a few sort of treats and things in store for you tonight.
Hopefully, one or two.
Just some nice information, but really it's going to be telling you a lot about the feedback that we've received from you guys and how much things we've already implemented. Things are in motion. Yeah,
elements are in motion
already,
thanks to feedback.
And that's only like your amazing feedback at home. That's only 4 days in.
Yeah.
But we just want to communicate to you as much as we possibly can about those changes and about what's happening throughout beta. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll get to do regular versions of these. I've not asked you yet.
Hey, it sounds good to me. until they chuck me off, why not? Yeah.
Until they chuck you off, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do regular ones of these. Also, I know that Mike Brooks has a post planned for the newsletter on Friday, and I think that's going to have a lot of this information in there, maybe some more as well from Mike. So we just want to keep you entertained. We want to keep you informed about all the changes coming to beta and changes afoot. Do we have already made? So that was in already beta 3 today.
Yes, and it's just ongoing. There's more as well coming.
So. Yeah, so it's absolutely wonderful. So one thing we do want to do as well is talk you through the process as well, because some people might be here that haven't played beta yet or are about to play beta, are going to get their hands on it soon. Some of you might be unsure about certain elements with beta, so I really want to quickly have you talk me through that, but we'll do that in just a moment.
Yes.
And then I'll be playing around with some really fun modifications while you answer about 60 questions.
Well, I've gleaned the forums and the thread. Thank you very much for everyone who sent in, who posted the questions up. So I'll try and get to as many as possible. Yeah.
So tell me, how's it been? How has the feedback been so far?
There's been a lot of it, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things people like. Thank you very much. I'm really pleased. We're all really pleased with things when you like things. Lots of good constructive criticism. That's completely fine. That's exactly what beta's for. So yeah, it's on fire at the moment, but in a good way.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice when something's it's in like a fire that is in a fireplace that
warming.
You are stoking.
We are.
And that's what we're going to
totally
do. We're going to stoke
it.
that fire even more with some chat about beta 2.1. as things go. So tell me, what is mayhem? Why are we doing a mayhem phase? What does that even mean?
Right. So so mayhem, the second phase of the beta, is where we are going to go a little bit crazy, and we're going to unlock all or virtually all of the actual upgrades for modules.
I think that happened this afternoon, didn't it?
I think it hopefully has already gone live. I think all you need, we're also going to make it it's also very easy to get them. So I think you just need fish.
Just fish.
It's just fish.
People in the chat are already saying about the fish as well.
Yeah.
Alexander Bell says, "Welcome back to Space Loach." Of course, you've got to.
Clearly, Space Loach. He's actually telling me what to say. That's why it works.
Whispering into your ear. Osric42 says fish! Exclamation mark. So I think it's important.
Yeah,
also,
fish.
Do put some questions in chat. Sandy will
I'll try to get to them.
Have a look in the chat as well as we go through. But for now, again, as you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, that's
I got
fine.
distracted by the chat.
And also, clearly, Space Loach is a type of fish.
Okay.
Just for the record straight.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So do we have the mayhem period? Why is that important to do?
Why is it good? So we've got lots of experimental effects on weapons. They do some pretty crazy things, and we've done as much testing as we can do. We've done lots of testing internally, but there are so many combinations. And multiplicative, I think it's the right word, combinations, module upgrades, stacked on module upgrades, stacked on module upgrades. A ship can have lots of modules. We need to find out where it breaks. And so for us to do that, we need everyone to just get in there and go crazy and literally try and get those overpowered builds, try and game the system as much as possible. All bets are off. This isn't about anything other than, mayhem, which is why we're calling it mayhem. So the more feedback we can get from that, the better chance we've got of catching those corner cases and shutting them down and making them something a little bit more pleasant.
Cool. Can I say, by the way, look at this.
Isn't it pretty?
Nobody told me.
Isn't it pretty?
Nobody told me that it would be quite as beautiful as this. Now,
no, they did.
Looks incredible.
It's so incredible you want to touch it with the nose of your ship.
Just a little kiss I gave it there. Did you see that?
just a little one.
I meant to do that.
It is. It's so pretty, and it's amazing what the coders have done because it's also faster. So they've literally managed to do the impossible. They managed to optimise it and make it better.
Ooh,
so hats off. I doff my cap to those guys. Space Loach doffs the Loach because they've done such an awesome job. So happy about that.
Great. And yes, so let's talk through quickly, and again, I'm sorry if everybody already knows all about this, but if you talk through how it would usually work in the main game, when we get this, how is this flow going to
So how's it going to manifest? Well, there are dotted around human space, and just around, there are a number of engineers, and the engineers can they can craft upgraded modules. They can upgrade your modules, make them do cooler things, make them better. But initially, you can't get to them. If you stumble upon their bases, you'll be told in uncertain terms to leave, and if you hang around, you're going to get into trouble. They're going to shoot you down. So what you need to do is you need to get invites from them, and there's I think around 5 engineers that are all secretly looking for certain criteria to be. Actually, I don't even think it's secret anymore. They're looking for certain criteria to be completed by you. I believe one of them is waiting for you to have travelled a certain amount of distance because this engineer, the backstory of this engineer is that she is interested in, I believe, travel and exploration. And when you do, you'll receive an invite, and an invite will let you get to the base. It will let you land, it will let you dock. But that's just the first stage. So after that, you then need to earn their trust. Normally, that's a different task. Again, it's normally associated with some part of their personality. I believe there's an engineer called Todd the Blaster McQuinn.
It's a very clicky thing. So
it is really clicky. I'm
sorry if it's picking up.
I'm sure that's going to be fine then. There you are, Todd the Blaster McQuinn, and he wants you to hand him bounty vouchers because he likes that. He likes working with bounty hunters. So once you've completed the task and earned their trust, that's it, you're in. You can now get them to craft upgrades for you, but upgrades need resources, they need materials. Materials are collected in all sorts of different ways. Sometimes it could involve scanning things, it could involve using special scanners, it could involve collecting salvage from destroyed ships, mining. There's basically a whole bunch of stuff. And I've got a little bit more to say on that later, but for now it's probably just fair to say all of these resources, and there are a lot of them, they're all dotted around in various places, and you need to hunt out where they are, collect them up, and then Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and the upgrades are ready to happen.
Great. Yeah.
And as you do that more, as you work with an engineer more, they will unlock more powerful upgrades.
Cool.
And potentially unlock invites to other engineers.
Cool. So today as well, we are going to go through some information as well throughout the stream. At some point, you're going to talk about some of the changes coming as well.
A couple of changes. And I think these are quite cool little bits that we haven't even talked about very much. I don't think so. I mean, there might have been, some people might have posted somewhere, I'm not sure, but as far as I'm aware, it's reasonably new.
Yeah, well, I think that it's really, really cool that there has been so much positivity from the community. It's been really, really brilliant.
Every time you say, really enjoying stuff, touches me there. It makes a big difference. We're human, and we love that stuff. So that's great. Thank you very much if you do enjoy it.
Chat and tell Sandy how much you are enjoying 2.1, because it's obviously very, very good. It's obviously 75% probably positive comments.
I think there's a lot of positivity.
But I think it's important to also have that sort of, not the negativity is a strong word, but being critical of it to make it, because it can be even better.
Absolutely.
It's already a great update. It can be even better with your feedback, and that's what this and stuff like this today is all about too. Is making sure that people are.
We'll keep them in the loop.
We're keeping you in the loop, making sure that you know we really, really want your feedback on more of it. 1 second. No.
No. So
I wanted to make sure it wasn't open.
I think it's really important. Now we can't always acquiesce and agree to some of the changes that get suggested, but we do appreciate every change. So people shouldn't feel that. Well, I'm not going to suggest anything because they never listen. We do listen. We can't always please everyone. We try to please as many people as possible, but we also have to follow the vision that we've got. But yeah, it's really appreciated, and it's completely fine to not like certain things. We're certainly not going to judge you for that. It's horses for courses, and where we can make changes based on feedback, then we hopefully will.
Zephod.
Commander Zephod
Talking of fish. Zephod Beeble?
Possibly it's Zephod Beeblebrox.
Beeblebrox.
Something like that.
Yeah. Right, look, we've got lots to do here, and I'm going to park up in a minute and play around with some, start getting some awesome modifications, and Sandy's going to talk us through how that will work and show us what's happening on screen and explain to us what's happening on screen. But you have a lot of questions to get through about the feedback. Let's start pushing through those, otherwise we'll never finish.
Absolutely, and I've got names this time as well.
Well done, Sandy.
So I did remember, so apologies last time for all the anonymous questions. And some of the answers might be a little bit brief, but it's only because I want to try and get through as many as possible. So, with that being said, let's start. Let's get my questions in order because I've got quite a few pages of them. 3, 2, 1. Right, there you go. Okie dokes. So, and apologies if I get the names wrong here. Gina Hoffoen, or Genar Hoffoen. It's a great name, whatever it is. In how many ways does this update benefit exploration and explorers in general? So obviously some of the modules that you use in exploration, a frameshift drive, drives, armour, hull for basically not dying, they all have upgrades for them. So there's nothing else specifically. Well, actually, there's also collecting a load of materials and resources from all different places. If you like hunting down things like that. But that's what there is at the moment. But exploration isn't an ongoing thing. Pretty much all of our professions and roles are ongoing. So in the future there will be more. Winter Walker says, could we please gratefully see a final graphic showing the actual build achieved by the engineer before choosing to accept, i.e. not just the generated procedure page. So yeah, I think what you mean here is that when you've crafted an upgrade, you'd like to see the stats as they apply to your ship. There's nothing that we're going to do. We can't make that happen right now, not soon, but it's definitely very valid, and it's in the big list of things that we want to do. So at some point, I'm hoping when we get a bit more time and a bit more leeway, we can get something like that in there. So another one from Gina Hofen.
Herfen.
It's there, look.
I think it's Herfen. I'm not sure.
Awesome name. Should collector limpets, or any type of limpet, which are counted as cargo for that matter, really be attracting the attention of pirates as much as they seem to? No, they shouldn't, and that's why we're fixing that. So hopefully at some point in the beta, they won't be getting quite so angry to get hold of your limpets. Here's a one from Oroka. These names are awesome. Is it planned to pin more than one recipe for each engineer? Not initially, not for now. I totally understand the desire for that. It would be really cool, but it's actually it'll be a little bit problematic to do. So there are various reasons. In the future, who knows? Unfortunately, not quite right now. Here's a question from Alexander the Grape. Hello, Grape. Good to hear from you. Can you give us your thoughts on the current state of the retributor laser? Yes, well, it should work now, whereas it wasn't working before. So sometimes we do fix things. It wasn't delivering heat through shields, so it was a bit pointless. Okay. Now it does, and as some people have found out, when you stack some of these bad boys or use other weapons that deliver heat, it's pretty effective. Some might say it's a little bit too effective. I think we've seen some ships be heated up very quickly to 8,000% heat, at which point basically they're dead no matter what happens. So this is one of the changes that we're going to make. I'm not sure when these are going in. You'd have to imagine this is like past and present and future Sandy. I'm not sure. Some of these changes may already be in beta 3. Other ones might be a bit later, but they should definitely happen during beta. Yeah. So there's going to be diminishing returns on heat generation from multiple weapons. What we don't want to do is nerf them so they're rubbish. Okay. So you should still be able to overheat ships very effectively. Okay, so into hull damage, which is about as bad as it gets. However, it's diminishing returns, which also means that some of the smaller class weapons will have slightly less effect on larger ships, even when they're stacked up. But importantly, it means that things like heat sinks and just managing to avoid being shot for a while, they will be able to effectively combat that to some degree. So you can't just overheat someone to the point where, well, it's game over. GG. They, with the right kind of equipment, so with some heat sinks and some fancy flying, you can always reasonably quickly get away from that heat generation to bring your ship's heat back down to a more reasonable level. Now, of course, it's a lot of this is skill dependent. If someone's just tagging you constantly with a heat weapon, you're in trouble, especially if you're trying to do things that also heat your ship. So here's the thing: we don't want to ruin heat delivery systems because we think they're really cool, but we also don't want to create paths of least resistance where you just have stack all of one. Every weapon is the same weapon and it's an insta kill. So hopefully that's going to mean that it's viable and not all powerful.
Yeah, well, Methane says in the chat, if overheating from these goes into hull damage, be careful lest it outclasses phasing sequence, which has this as its own.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the kind of feedback that we need to get from testing, because we're only going to see this when we see people do all of the absolutely gajillions of combinations of weapons. But it should be pretty cool.
Okay, Zon Red Rose has been waiting for my in-game prize for over 2 months. If that is the case, that's something that I should be picking up.
2 months. 2 months too many.
2 months too many.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for my prize for 2 months. So if you have been waiting, seriously, do email community@frontier.co.uk and say, "Oi, hurry up, Ed, sort me out with my prize." So somebody else as well, further up, said something as well that I thought was interesting about running away AI. Do you have a question on that?
I do. Well, let's get to that. Let's get to those. Right. So sorry.
Just to let everybody know, I'm here at the Engineers Workshop. I'm donating a fish which I bought from her because in Mayhem you can buy the fish from these guys, so we can test as much as we want.
Fish are everywhere. Thanks for all the fish.
What should we upgrade? Tell me about this. Really quickly. Look, I know time is already running away with us, but talk me through some of this stuff.
So here's all of the you can modify the modules that are on your ship.
What's that?
Okay. And you can browse all of the modifications that Felicity Farseer can do.
But she currently does everything.
Yeah,
but
so
that was not going to be the case.
No, so I think she does something like frame shift drives and drives, I believe, is her specialities.
So should we do what she wants anyway?
Why
people
not?
are saying FSD.
Yeah, FSD. Get in there, do some FSD, and just look at it. That's well, why look, this is why not?
Can I? I mean, can I on the ship? No, I can't. Maybe I can't on my Cobra.
Oh yeah, of course. You've probably picked a class that's higher than your current FSD.
Oh, maybe I don't have the relevant materials.
I don't think so. I don't think.
Oh, I don't need them.
Go back to the recipe. I believe the recipe is just fish.
Oh, I need more fish. I got more fish.
You haven't got any fish.
Sorry.
Oh, well, look, clearly.
I thought that.
How can an engineer work without fish?
It's true. Sorry.
Oh, schoolboy error.
Sorry, you do another question. So no, I don't.
That didn't happen. Okay. Right. Iscariot. Hello, Iscariot. I've seen that name before. Awesome to hear from you. Question: would it be possibly be a good idea to be able to reject the outcome of a recipe at the loss of 50% of the materials? This would then represent the recycling of materials to have another go at generating the modification. It's a really nice idea. I hate to be like the ogre. We're not going to do that initially, but it's a really good lever, and I don't think it's outside the realms of possibility. I think we could, with some effort, do that. So that's the kind of thing that we can look at, but we wouldn't want to make that kind of finesse change until we've got a lot more data in. So it's the kind of thing that later on, even after the beta, in maybe the next update or other updates, I think we could do things like this. Methane, hello Methane. Why do pirates steal limpets? It's quite annoying. Well, hopefully they're not going to. I mean, they might still scoop them up if you reject them, but they shouldn't be angrily demanding them. They want better stuff, even though they are worth a bit of money. So the next question again from Methane is: good engineer upgrade stats and special modifications like the regenerating beam rolling together requires a double lucky roll. If you have your desired special mod but you want to try for better stats, you want to keep the stats but roll for the special mod, you can only accept the whole package.
That's why I was doing it wrong, Sandy.
What were you doing?
I was clicking. This is an important lesson. We're all learning today how to use this system. This was actually supposed to be a tutorial.
You're learning. Okay, I'm trying to get some questions, but
so no, it's good. The questions are way more important, and I'm so sorry for interrupting you on that.
No, that's fine.
Honestly, I don't mean to.
I love your interruptions.
The reason why it wasn't working is because I wasn't using modify your module.
You were just browsing. Well, look, there you are.
Like a dunce.
But now you're in there, and you're going to go for it.
Thanks, guys, in the chat for helping out there.
Back to Methane's question. It's frustrating to have chance dictate whether you get the modification that you want and the stats that you want. So that's that done. So we're not going to change it at the moment. That is part and parcel. However, we are making sure that under the hood it's an ongoing process. There are a number of quite interesting ways that we manipulate statistics. which means that it's not quite as random as people think it is. And if you end up rolling a weapon that has an experimental effect, by the end of the beta, for definitely, you'll likely find that your stats rolls in general are going to be more extreme. And the way that stat creation works for our module upgrades, the more extreme it is, generally speaking, the better it is. It's always better to have more extreme rolls. So hopefully that's the start of something that should be quite interesting. Right.
Rolls, I'm getting rubbish.
Is another question: why are enhanced thrusters not sold outside engineer bases, for example, and especially Jameson Memorial? So at the moment, upgraded drives are for Horizon users only. Now, whether this changes in the future, it might do, it might not. I don't actually know. So what we're working at the moment, though, is that it's one of the benefits for having Horizons, and they're really cool as well. What else? Bookmarks are sorted, again, a MeFan, I believe, sorted by time created, one alphabetically. It's a really good question. I've been talking with John Pace and Team GUI, and it just came down to resources and time. In the future, it very much looks like there will be various filter and sorting options. So I don't know when they're going to come in. You know me, I'm always caveating with no ETA, no guarantee. That holds true equally now as it does normally, but everyone wants it, and so I think at some point it's very likely to happen. Do all mods exist in grades 1 to 5, and we haven't yet found the high grades, or either some of them limited to 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. It makes a huge difference to decide whether to spend lots of materials for a good grade 3 roll or work towards doing a grade 5 upgrade instead. I think at the moment not all modules have all grades. I suspect as time goes on, now Engineers is releasing, then this is something that will be expanding and it'll be an ongoing process. But for now, you're just going to have to make those choices based on the information that you glean from the game. So it really is, it's a decision whether you want to use those materials on lower ones or save them up. Wow!
Yes,
that's what we're called. And look at that! You had a side effect that.
Oh,
you had a couple of side effects.
What's happening?
So once.
No. Oh.
Yeah, it makes it even better. Basically, side effects.
What's going on?
Side effects come in at the end of the generation process, and they're generally speaking reasonably small additional changes.
Okay. Well, that wasn't.
Wasn't that bad. Actually, I think one of them was great. The thermal load one was brilliant.
Yes, apply.
Yeah,
it's gone down by 50% in the boot time.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. I'll take that. Or now I can do 4. So, by the way, Mayhem, we're learning here together. The more you do it, so you'll start off with 1s and then you upgrade as you do more with them, and that's going to be a slower process during the launch. Do you think?
What's that? Sorry.
So of course I've been doing grade 1 access.
Yes.
Then I did a couple of those, and now I've got grade 4 available.
Yes.
So is that going to be a slower process during the final launch?
And launch it will be slower, but it won't be. That again, I'll probably get around to that. We're looking at that, so it may well be that it's accelerated slightly from where it started. I think it's based on feedback, but it will be slower than. Clearly, in the beta, we want everyone to get everything, so we've super accelerated it.
Yes.
Right, so back to the questions. Some upgrades get reduced downsides at higher grades. Some downsides even turn into extra buffs. Other modules get escalating advantages and disadvantages at higher grades. Why all like that? With bigger Boney always coming with bigger Marley. I assume that's good and bad. Or is there logic behind this divide, which we just don't see? Well, I think the first thing to remember is that modules can't really be measured apples for apples with each other. So you've got to look at a module on its own. Sometimes having equally powerful downsides would totally ruin any benefit to a module. And also, we don't want all modules to be prescriptively the same, as in, this one, every module has X amount of downsides, X amount of upsides. The one rule I can say is that as the modules go up in rank, in rating, in level, they generally tend to get better and better across the board. And even ones where the downsides get more extreme, if you look at it in terms of what the module's meant to be doing, in general, at the higher ranks, the downsides are far outweighed by the positives. That's literally the kind of golden rule. And if people do find modules where that clearly isn't the case, then they should raise that as an issue, because it is meant to be. And we can look at it. What else? What counts for
damage, man?
What counts for engineer rank progression beyond using their services? Some apparently accept exploration data, for example, but what works and what doesn't is not really clear. Well, that's because actually you've been misinformed. At the moment, only crafting with an engineer will increase your reputation with them. This is something that we are looking at, and this will crop up again, I believe, in the questions. So we'll probably be coming back to this.
Yay!
Booyah!
75% chance to be fair.
What did you multi-cannon? Emissive munitions. Goodbye silent builds. On the multi-cannon, it's a very, very powerful experimental effect.
On emissive is? Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, because
it'll last a shorter amount of time.
It lasts a short amount of time because it's based on damage, but you can keep hosing someone with a multi-cannon, and once they're, especially if it's gimbaled, once they're lit up, there's a lot of ammo.
I want something more fun to play with right now. So.
I think you should keep going.
This is, by the way, this is the first time I've played. This is the first time I've done this. I have to hold my hands up and say that it's the first time I've actually done this.
We've been very busy,
and I'm excited. I'm really enjoying it.
Right, another question. So yeah, we'll be coming back to that. I can't remember who asked that. Was that Methane? I think it might have been a Methane question.
Thank you, Methane. Thank you for your questions.
Yeah, thanks for all of them. Thanks everyone. So another one.
What
does major faction reputation still have now that only minor faction rank counts in all situations? Offer missions, aggressiveness of police, cargo scanning, whether ships are pre-scanned, etc. Well, factions, as we now call them, and superpowers, as the major factions are, because it's a lot cleaner, so that's what the terminology we're changing to. Superpower reputation does have an effect because it acts as a modifier to all of the reputation you gain with associated factions. So if I'm doing work for a Imperial faction, the more friendly I am with the Empire, basically the bigger benefits I get from reputation with that Imperial faction. So it still has a pretty significant effect. So it's still there.
I'm going for the autoloader.
Autoloader? Why not? Why no class burst 4 lasers? Really sorry. They just weren't ready in time. Oh. They're a little bit more complicated for various reasons. They will be coming at some point. So I don't know when, but yeah, we will be getting them. I'm fairly confident I'm not going to lose my job for saying that. Although you never know.
Well, we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, check the forums and see if Sandy's still there.
So Lazarus or Lazarus K1 has a question.
It's going to be Lazarus.
It is, I'm sure. Now that we have large and huge multi-cannons and rebalanced missiles, is there any chance to get large and huge missile racks too that can carry more ammo with bigger magazines?
Sorry, I'm just getting excited over the gap.
Oh yeah, good.
This really
this is another good one.
Nice little weapon, the power draw.
Rate of fire's a bit slow, pretty big, but you got great distributor draw.
59%.
Great power draw.
Well, look.
And a decent thermal load. Yeah. That's not bad.
Osric 42, he says we missed his questions out. I don't hope we
I have got at least one if I get to from you, Osric.
Keep going, because otherwise when they get through them, I'll just play the game and I'll have a nice time.
Right. So missile racks.
Initial impact.
Oh, that's a good one. Basically large missile launcher racks. Not at the moment. Just having loads more ammo is not something that we really want missiles to have. I mean, there is synthesis. It's not particularly easy synthesis to do, but you can restock missiles outside of combat. And we wanted missiles to come back in a big way. Had a bit of a dodgy start. We have made various changes, which a believer in now, which should have increased their damage, increased their tracking capability, fixed a bug with their blast radius not appearing at the right point, and given them a little bit more health, so point defense can't insta-kill them. So again, we need people to test this. We need people to tell us how good the missiles are. That's Seekers, that's dumbfire, and torpedoes. Torpedoes had a big change. They're a lot slower, although we've sped them up again. They do the amount of, if you target subsystems, you should be able to affect, strip those external modules down, damage them. We want to know how effective that is. So get using them. Another question from Lazarus K1, I believe. ECM versus point defense. Will they get another look? No, perfect defense. It's kind of not fun. Perfect defense. Point defense is almost perfect, while ECM is useless. Yes. No. At some point in the future, we are going to look at them. Point defense is closer to where we want it to be. You are taking up slots. ECM is very difficult to use, and we're going to make it better. I'm not sure when, but we're probably going to do something along the lines of rather than having to hold the button down and then the effect happens when you release it, we'll have an ongoing increasing bubble effect around you when you hold the button down. So hopefully at some point we'll get that and it'll be a lot more powerful. But no ETA, no guarantee.
Keep forgetting to not crash into walls.
Don't crash into walls, Ed. So that's a good idea.
I'm going to have to go and land again.
Look for the reflection in your shiny hair of the wall and then just avoid them.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Apparently, your piloting is dirt. Never mind. I still love you, Ed.
Yeah.
Right. Question. What about cannons? Well, they're getting a look now that with all these multi cannons, increased projectile speed would be nice. And again, I believe that's Lazarus K1. Well, it's funny you should say that, and I think Mike may have made a post on this already. But in case you didn't read it or didn't see, yeah, we are going to buff cannons. We're going to buff them quite a lot. We are going to increase their speed, the bullet travels, because now that ships in general can go a lot faster thanks to upgrades. To the drives, they need that buff. We're going to increase their damage at distance, which what we're really going to do is we're going to reduce the fall off to basically 0. So it's hard to hit something with a cannon at long range, but if you manage it, you're going to be doing pretty much full damage. So that's going to be quite interesting. We are also increasing their ability to overcome hardness, so they're more effective against ships that are larger than the weapon size. So that's a good thing. And we're going to increase their penetration value. Now, this might look at face value, when you're using them, you might go, well, they're doing less damage to hull. That would be because more damage is going through to the module you just caned. So overall, they're fairly nasty. So again, we're going to need that testing as soon as that goes live, if it's not live already, and hopefully we'll get some good feedback on that. Right, next question. Could it be possible that now that you at least show us what we can get as an additional effect, heal beam, etc.? I mean, there'll be a list somewhere on the wiki anyway, so why not show it in game? So at the moment, no, we're not going to do that. Although it'll be really interesting to see the wikis if people do like to make wikis. I love looking at those wikis and things like that. I don't know in the future. That would be again a finesse, and we have some ideas about special experimental effects and how they are applied, but we're not ready to do that. We're not ready to go into that yet. So for now, you're going to have to just keep. Take your chances.
Just want to quickly say to Mr. Foxhound here, who's calling me out, be like, "Oh, when you don't play ED."
Ooh, snap burn! Snap busted!
I'll have you know, I legitimately made it to be 1 point, and I'm on my way back, and I play an hour a day at least.
Colin Ford, did I just do a shiny hair joke? No, it's just the truth. I mean, these are actually shades because it's really shiny hair.
Right, let's go and play some.
I skipped over NPC. I can't say your name, I'm sorry, without sounding really awful. Pateris? Peter?
I just call him Peter. Pateris.
Pateris. I skipped over it because I'm coming back to it in a little while. Right, so let's go on. More questions. I want to get through more of these questions. The Weasel. I didn't mean that you're a horrible person, the Weasel. I'm sure you're lovely.
Just his name.
It's just a cool name.
Just a name.
When there will be development of on-planet surface analysis and scanning, detailed surface scanner, secondary benefit, not only added detail from space, why not allow it to refine or focus surface analysis when searching for items or resources, benefits at heights and all the rest of things like that. Really cool ideas. I'm not sure when we're getting back to planetary exploration. We definitely are getting back to it at some point because we've got some other stuff there, which I'm not allowed to talk about because it's not for now. So yeah, they're really cool ideas, and oddly enough, we've talked about some things quite similar to some of those in the design team. So sorry, not yet, but who knows?
Yeah,
who knows when?
No.
Another question: does the galaxy map? The galaxy map opens in a couple of seconds, but why the system map?
Keep going. I'm sorry.
No, it's the second page.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, third actually. Sorry, galaxy map opens in a couple of seconds, but why the system map takes 30 seconds in beta 2? Why? Well, the reason is actually, unfortunately, very technical. It's generating visuals, I believe, for the stars and the planets, whereas the galaxy map isn't. This is a bit of a bugbear for me, actually, as well. I'm probably not allowed to say that, am I?
You can say what
I kind of, and this is me totally spitballing now, I kind of like the idea of there being a toggle to look between a simplified version of systems, stars and planets, to have a faster loading, and then a more detailed one if you wanted to look at the visuals. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, I'm now going to whine and moan about it to everyone, but that probably won't make much. But so hopefully that explains why that is the case.
Change it should be the lead designer, surely.
Well, I'm in the chain. I have my privileges, but they're not infinite.
Good.
Question: mission boards very slow to start. Can this be background process loaded in once landing, even before selected? Basically, I think what you're saying is as soon as you land, we start loading in asynchronously loading in mission boards. Even before you get to them. I don't know. I was going to ask Team Server and Dav. He's very busy, so I thought I want to keep my life. But we will look at that. I don't know is the answer. The game's very complicated, and so I'm not sure. Well, that's you're hammering poor old Tony Cox. He's taking a beating. You almost had him there, apparently. Another question.
I almost had him.
From the Weasel. Shipskins. Please release a single skin for all ships, not collections for single ship type. I would have one tactical skin for all my ships.
Whoa.
I will not buy it 6 times for only 6 ships of the many available. Right, okay, so I'm sorry I have to stop you there. It's completely valid. It's not my remit.
Am I getting hit by a real commander here?
Well, there is a real commander there, but he doesn't look angry to you.
It's definitely going to be somebody who's angry at me.
Oh, well, maybe it's because of your flying.
Let's get out of here.
So yeah, I don't know on that one. Valid questions completely. So, but
I think I need a wing. I think I need a wingmate.
Right.
Sorry,
I'm going to keep going. Right. Okay, Shallow Cow. I'm sure you're not. When will the engineer rep game be reworked to cover missions tasks as originally intended rather than a number of items crafted? So I'm going to address this right now just to be very clear about it. I think people are misunderstanding comments that have been made in various posts. It was never the intention what we're going to go with of a mission system. No, not that's a bad idea. It's a very nice idea. It's very good. It's also very expensive to do. Maybe at some point in the future we might get something like that, but for now it's not. I think in various posts what may have been said was, although we like that idea, time didn't permit, basically. So on the other hand, and it's worth addressing the rest of it now, as I've briefly mentioned, we are looking at engineer progression. I totally take on board the criticism of crafting something which you don't like just so you can go up in reputation with engineer.
Turns out that was an AI. Just absolutely destroying me.
Oh, what a surprise. Well, it's your dirt flying, maybe. Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
It is true. I mean, I didn't have anything. I couldn't handle it. Just all of a sudden, I was under attack.
So I want to be really clear on that, just so there's no ambiguity. It's not. It was intentional, the choice we made, but we are looking at it. We are seeing if there are ways that we can improve it to some degree, maybe as people have suggested on the forums and various posts, using vouchers, combat vouchers, bounty vouchers, maybe exploration data, maybe some sort of specialised markets. We're looking at these. I don't have anything more to report at the moment, but as soon as we do, then hopefully we'll get this information to you, or it'll just pop into beta, or not. I don't actually know. So there's that.
Really quick one.
Yeah.
Before you start your next question.
Sure.
Who does want to actually wing up with me? I think apparently I've got.
I think Ed needs the help.
I do. I really do. Nobody sent me a request. Somebody said that they sent me a request, but I don't think I saw it.
You've got lots of friend requests. Yeah, where's the wing request, man?
Who said a wing request?
Send it again.
Someone send me. If you send me any ring request, I will accept them as long as you come and help me in battle.
Ghost Gurio is asking, what about the bookmarks infinite plotting bug on 2.1? Keeping or fixing? I'm not sure. If it's an infinite plotting bug, that doesn't sound great. But plotting a route to Sagittarius A from home is a real long way. So I don't know. I'll look into that. And that was a bookmarking one. Yeah. So I'll look at that. Right. So Osric has a question. Will the enhanced class 2 and 3 thrusters only be available to 1.6 players? Would they be available to 1.6 players? Oh, sorry, I did answer this already. So no, not at the moment. The Horizons only. However, I don't know if that's going to stay. At some point after during season 2, we might make them available to non-Horizons players. So the honest answer is I don't know. At the moment, they are a benefit of having Horizons.
Okay.
Another question: can you explain the reasoning behind allowing us to enter any hangar with our SRV? Makes no sense whatsoever. I guess you've put it in thinking it will be a help to racers. It was not actually why we did it.
Interesting.
But they appreciate that. I find myself having a very hard time understanding how I can enter a hangar on a small landing pad and then be magically transported to another large landing pad on the other side of the outpost. So the reason that we did it was because hunting down your hangar, especially in the larger bases, we just didn't think it was that fun. So it's not particularly for the racers. It was very much a game-driven overall. We do like having procedure for procedure's sake. That's why we have docking. We like that. It is part of the immersion, but there are limits to it. And as for context, most of the bases are actually underground anyway. So the bits that you see are actually just external parts. As often you go down into a landing pad and they're very hangers and things. Yeah. So if you like, you can that's the context that we use for it. So that's what that is. Sorry, I'm just reading something else.
Keep reading.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to do the leap of shame here.
Oh, sorry, I missed that question. I might try and search for that later. That did look interesting.
Do you want me to scroll up?
Go on.
Again, this is why I'm trying to scroll on certain different things at once here. So
let's have a look. Oops, up right. Was it, Sandra? Was it a hint of potential engineers progression alternative coming in 2.1 beta? Well, so the honest answer is we're not sure. So we're looking at it. I'm certainly not going to say definitely. I'm not going to lie and say that we're ignoring it, because we had a lot of feedback and we actually do like to listen. We can't always agree or help, but we do like to try because we want to make a great game. So I don't know is the answer, but I'll try and keep you guys informed as much as possible. Right, another question. So let's try SAS Stalker. SAS Stalker, I don't know if that's your cat as your picture, but I love cats and that's such a lovely cat. I want to pet that cat. So is the current engineer rep game mechanism? I think I probably answered this already. Considered to be placeholder. So no, it's not placeholder. It's one of those things where we are aware that there could be better ways of doing it. I think this is going to, like I say, I think this is going to run and run. This is going to be an ongoing thing. So we're going to try and make within time resources. We are going to look at what sorts of improvements can be made. But I'm not going to promise the moon on a stick, even though you're about to crash into a moon.
Hey.
No, you're fine. Just glide. So changes are likely to be incremental changes. That's not to say, though, for everyone that suggested having themed missions for engineers, that's not to say it's a bad idea. That's a great idea, and who knows in the future. Right, another question. Expanding on the above, and assuming the answer is yes. Will materials be added to commodity markets for players to buy, or added to faction missions to earn as rewards? They already are added. There are materials as rewards from some missions. And that's likely to carry on being an ongoing thing. So always check out the mission boards, because you never know what kind of materials you might be able to pick up from missions. I believe 1 or 2 materials might only be available from missions. And as for commodities, well, some of the commodities that are required as resources are available in markets, certain markets, so you need to find out where they are. Other ones aren't. So it's what we're trying to do is have a nice mishmash of different ways. You end it saying about encouraging players to hunt for materials outside of their usual routes by means of finding said markets would be a grand idea. I think it is pretty cool. It is a pretty cool idea, and so I'm not going to rule that kind of thing out. Not quite yet, but I have a little bit of a statement to make on materials in a few moments.
Statements to make on materials.
Yes.
In a few moments.
Okay, so I think in SS Stalker again, why is materialist requirements for the module manufacturer called recipe? Are they baking cakes in their spare time? You know what, we agree with you, and that was a bit of a slip-up, I believe. They shouldn't really be called recipes. I guess mechanically they are, but they should be blueprints, modifications or upgrades, and I've talked to Ms. Brooks, and hopefully at some point the word recipe will be removed from the game and replaced with something a bit cooler sounding, because Great British Bake Off, is great if you like that kind of thing, but not really what it is. So I agree.
Did I tell you that I met Ian from the Great British Bake Off the other day?
Which one is he?
He won the last one.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, he was a lovely man.
I'm sure he was. That's great. That's great.
Yep. Back on.
Buttery biscuit base. So question, why are all of the randomly created engineer contact avatars horrifically ugly swamp donkeys? That's pretty harsh. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and really so therefore it depends on which edition you play. Right, Dutchy 2000, purely selfish question since I run silent running in CQC a lot. Has the extra heat generation from silent running while firing weapons made it into CQC? If so, that would completely make a marginal gain item in CQC useless. I wouldn't call it marginal gain. I've had my posterior handed to me in CQC by people who are silent running. So yes, it does carry over, but fear not. We're going to keep an eye on it. If it turns out that it totally ruins things or makes it rubbish, then we'll change it, because we want CQC to be really cool. Yep. Fractal, the number reduction in heat sinks to nerf silent running, to reduce the effectiveness of silent running, is also indirectly affecting use of shield cell bank. So the question is there a plan to rebalance the item, slight reduction of heat produced or power draw to account for the change? Cool. Not at the moment. I do think that it was the reduction to heat sinks is purposeful, and it is to do with combat. So it is part of that network of things, including shield cell banks. We're going to keep an eye on it. We are never going to say never to potential changes if we think that the feedback and or the telemetry and our own feelings on it are that it could be better. But for now, we're going to run and see how that goes. Billy Bob Lee, howdy. He's asking you, Ed. He's having trouble looking for micro resources. For example, cracked industrial firmware or hybrid capacitors. Would you head out and find them by luck, or is there a method to finding them? Thanks, Billy Bob Lee. Would you like me to field that question for you?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so cool. Hopefully then, got hopefully a bit of nice news as well here. So yes, it is very difficult. There is a method to where materials and commodities are found. So technically, if you put in a lot of work and a lot of deductive reasoning, you can find out certain activities and certain locations, certain ship types. All these are factors into what materials are going to be gathered. But it's a bit too hard, isn't it? I think we're all agreed on that. So hopefully what we're going to be doing at some point during beta as well, if luck holds out, is we are going to be adding the ability to interrogate materials on the blueprint, not recipe, the blueprint screen.
Very nice.
At an engineer, at the engineers, and also in your blueprint that you've pinned to your ship. So what the interrogation will allow us to do is put a little bit of text in there, and in that text we can give you some pointers and some hints as to where to find these things and what activities you will need. I don't think we're going to spell it out precisely and exactly, but we totally get that there are a lot of resources and there's a lot of activities, and it's cool. Some exploration and some deductive reasoning is great, but it was too much. So that's something that we've directly got from feedback, and we've looked at it in hindsight and we agree with you. So well done, everyone. Hopefully that's going through. And in addition, what we're also going to do, hopefully for the beta as well, is that we are going to do a munge. So what we're going to do is we're going to munge some of the lower resources. Effectively,
You seem to like this, by the way.
I hope so, because I think it's a good thing. We're going to munge some of the lower resources, so there's not quite so many of them.
Right.
So what this is really going to mean is they're easy to get.
I think I found a bug here.
What's that? Oh, that's clearly
I found a bug. I've done the beta, finished it.
Yeah, I think. Well, you just need to submit that and then win the game.
It still looks very pretty.
Oh, it does look really pretty.
It is an unbelievable gorgeous game. I cut you off halfway through.
No, that's great.
This,
And it's worth it for that. Look at that. Look at him. What's he doing? He's doing some awesome acrobatics.
You must complete the sentence.
Right. So the sentence I was saying. It's too difficult. So we're going to munge the lower resources. They'll be easy to find because you'll get them. You won't need to do quite as many things to get them. Also, they're used. It means that they'll be used in more recipes, especially the low level recipes. Therefore, you should have access to recipes more easily and more quickly. So hopefully, because what we don't want to punish people too hard when you want to use an engineer, we want to kind of ease you into it as much as possible. So again, it's purely from feedback that we've had from the testers. So well done. Thank you very much.
And that's what I think.
It's really useful.
Genuinely, what it's all about. So we've got about 15 minutes left. More questions, and I think how many more have you got?
I'm going to race through as many. I'll hopefully do a couple of Facebook ones. Right. So I'll just keep going.
Just want to make sure everybody. I hope that you guys are appreciating this. Please do let us know in the chat as well. Say thank you to Sandy, is what I'm saying.
And again, Peter, adding NPC chat about materials. That's a really good idea, actually.
But there you go.
Who knows? In the future, that's cool. Right, so Gurl, will there be an engineer who does SRV mods? Not at the moment. The Tomic effect. That's cool. Will NPCs ever use SRVs? Not anytime soon. That's a big bucket of work. It's a lot of work getting NPCs to use SRVs. I think we do want it, but that's in itself is a big chunky work, and we want to make sure that we can support that with some pretty awesome gameplay as well. Ryants, our engineers' chances of obtaining special attributes the same across the board, or do some engineers specialise certain special experimental effects? At the moment, they're across the board, they're flat. In the future, who knows? We've got some pretty cool ideas, but that's not for 2.1. So we want to make sure that the base stuff's working first, and then we'll get to that at some point in the future. Viero, I hope I'm saying this correctly. Engineer rep building missions recently confirmed by Mike Evans as not ready yet. No, that's unfortunately not true. What he was saying is that we couldn't do them. And again, so the rest of that question is basically hopefully already been answered, in that we are looking at it, and as soon as I get more information, as soon as we come to conclusions about what we can or cannot do, then I'll let you guys know. Can you please detail any AI changes implemented or about to be implemented due to the player feedback, i.e. the brave Sir Robin? And I think we might probably to thank for that, which is great. It is very brave Sir Robin. Yes, okay, so let's talk very briefly about AI.
I did a brave Sir Robin.
I think, I do it all the time because I'm not that great at the game. Yes, I think hopefully people will agree that in general the AI is better. We've improved it. At the lower level of ranks, it should be on a par more or less with what it was before. The higher ranks, which is where people want the extra challenge, hopefully it's more of a challenge. Them running away from you at the moment, yes, it is a bit of a problem. We do accept that feedback, which is why we're going to change it, but we don't want to remove it completely. As some people, I mean, there has been some contention. Some people really like it, some people don't. On balance, get back space lunch. On balance, we think that it's a little bit too predictable and it's a little bit too powerful. They're not cheating
powerful
though.
For them?
Yes, they're not cheating, by the way. They're not cheating with how fast they can go. Those ships can go that speed if you are a god at manipulating pips and knowing what you're doing. So they're not cheating, but we're going to add some amount of variation into the black box that is the flea behaviour. So Sarah Jane Avery is already working on it, doing wonders with it. So
fantastic.
They'll still run away, but they might run away all the time. They maybe won't run away in the same way all the time. So hopefully it will just make it a little bit more fun again. Because that, at the point of it is, yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but yeah, we agree. We want it to be fun as well.
Yeah, I mean, as I found out earlier, the AI has improved drastically. That's why I'm coming back for revenge right now with my crew. I've got my crew ready. Pretty pack hound missiles ready.
Orange Spark,
Grief, Orange Spark and Dinsey, all
what
the
a
boys.
motley crew. I'm liking it. I'm liking the cut of their jib.
The safe dropout distance has increased as well. Is that right?
It has. It's one of those little tweaks. And you know what? It's actually done in a really cool way, I think. So the dropout distance for these events and nav beacons is actually now based properly on the gravitational pull by stars. So the further out into deep space a signal source is, or a nav beacon, the more relaxed the dropout is. It's easier to drop out because you can go that much faster.
This game.
I think that's one of those little nice touches that maybe gets forgotten about in all of the crazy big news. But I think people like that. Look at that, you got some untypical shield scans. Oh, by the way, who was asking for cracked industrial firmware? I think you probably maybe want to try scanning data points at bases. Find some nice, easy bases to do, and I think you might get a bit of luck there. Right, next, W. Stevenson. Let's see what question you're asking. Oh no, wrong one. Now, will there be engineer mods for Hatchbaker controllers? And you've got some really cool.
Look how many effects this guy's got right now. That was amazing.
A bit of mayhem, yep. Glutton limpets that dumps canisters twice as fast, discerning limpets that dumps high value canisters first. These are really cool ideas. I won't go through them because I'm running out of time. They're really good ideas and they're really cool. There aren't any modifications for them yet. They're one of the modules that it's going to take a little bit more time to do upgrades for them, but hopefully in the future, well, these are good ideas.
My boys are protecting me. They don't know
Phil upwards. I don't know what that accent is. With materials being generated whilst mining, have you considered adding a method where you can instruct collector limpets to ignore auto-discard certain material types? It's quite tedious having to empty out a hold of carbon, nickel, sulfur every so often. It's a really good idea. I'm going to say no at the moment, sorry. That's often going to be the case. I'd rather be honest than lie. However, it is really good, and the reason that we're not doing it at the moment is simply because there's quite an involved amount of interface work just to get that to happen. But it's a great idea, and it's on my list. It's on my Sandy's secret, I really want this list. Because we did some mining internally in the office in the wing, and we're actually quite enjoying it. But yeah, there's a lot of busy work, maybe a little bit too much when you don't want all of the things. Will there be engineer bases further out in the bubble? I'm thinking in the region of 10,000 light years. For the explorers, no comment at the moment. I don't want to say anything more about engineers. Will there be engineers who can modify the module types not covered in the future? Scanning, mining, repair. So hopefully, if things go well, that is in the plan. But no ETA, no guarantee. Okay. Didn't hear it from me, but yes, I think so. Hopefully.
You didn't hear it from me, but yes, I said it.
Will there be engineer upgrades to allow improved effectiveness of synthesized items, or will there be more synthesis recipes? No to the first one. Their synthesis effectiveness is already pretty damn good. Yes, hopefully to the second one though. We do have, I think there already are JIRAs for adding synthesis recipes for chaff, heat sink launchers, things like that. So that hopefully, I don't know when, but yes, hopefully. Will there be engineer recipes that require you to bring back things like metal alloys or unidentified artifacts? or similar future alien materials items. Couldn't possibly say on that one.
My build is not good. It's not strong.
Ouch! You're getting pwned. Stop being pwned.
By an expert sidey.
Well, expert.
Ed, get out. Nah, I don't mind.
He might even have some stuff. Oh, sorry. I think I've got another question here. We'll go back to 8 quickly. Okay.
Do the bastard of the brace their head.
I did the wrong page. Right. Okay. So, Withnell. That's a great film. Will 2.1 bring the introduction of the collapse of the power mechanic, the collapse mechanic in Power Play, as the notes of the first beta identified that you've been making fixes? I don't know. Hopefully, maybe, not sure. There's still a few wiggly things going on with that, but we have been looking at it. But obviously, things are very, very busy at the moment, so I don't know for sure. But it's coming. It's coming. So those powers are better. They better watch out, because death is on the cards at some point. Question: with the way the engineers are presented, will all available engineers appear to anyone who has triple elite status instantly come to launch of 2.1 to the masses? Right. So I think what you're saying here is if you've already done so many things, fulfilled all the criteria that the engineers are looking out for, will they all just instantly send you invites? And the answer is kind of a bit tricky. Yes, they will, but there are only 5 of them that do this. The other engineers are locked mainly through other engineers, so it shouldn't be too much of a jam. But it will retroactively look at what you've done in the past, so it can. Did you just die?
Yep. It hurt.
Oh dear.
Well, I shot the police apparently.
Oh, schoolboy mistake.
I've got to say Dinsey and Orange Spark.
Did they make it out?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope you did, guys.
They did a fantastic job of supporting and helping me out. It was but of course, I blame it on the build. I blame it. Bad work when it was.
Well, it's the beta. Right? That's clearly what it is.
Also,
it's the beta.
They were really tough.
Yes,
they were some
experts.
tough fighting.
Yeah, they're experts.
They're really hard.
So yeah, Phil, I don't know if I've answered this one already. I don't think I have. Should materials be given a different scanner icon colour to that of cargo? Maybe suggestions. There's already a lot of colours on the scanner, so I'm not sure, but I'm open to suggestions. Alec Turner, this is perhaps what lunaticity meant, but the engineers, I know that name. The engineers contact you as and when you achieve certain targets. So, okay. So this is the question. That's already I literally just answered for Withnell. Sorry. Yes, the most you'll get is 5 invites, but it will retroactively look. Forum 8 says, will players get materials from destroying other player ships? No, sorry, but we don't trust you enough. It's too open to exploitation.
Okay,
is the truthful answer there. It's a great idea, great concept, but unless we have to, the effort involved in making that work securely, I don't think it's worth it at the moment. Who knows in the future? But for now, no.
So we've got lightweight alloys on.
Commander Jax, considering the long slog it is likely to be for materials and the variety of modules and our different ship loadouts, are there plans to give us access to a summary screen for each module which has been modified? The screen which shows us where the sliders end up so that we can more easily track the modules which we would like to re-roll. Yeah, I think this is... I think I answered this earlier, and I do apologise, Commander Jax, if I'm misrepresenting here, but this is like the screen where you can look at modules that have been upgraded and get like a nice clear view of how they work with the rest of your ship. So no at the moment, but it's definitely something that we really do like, and we do want. No ETA though at the moment. Shaneri.
Just want to quickly say thank you to Griefed and Orange Spark and Dinsey who supported me there. We might get the chance to just have a little fly around before we finish.
Right, I've only got minutes. I'm close. I'm close.
Why don't we just do it?
I'm going to go for it.
Mind?
I'm going to go for it. Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, I don't think it takes much
longer. We're
going
to finish all these questions.
I apologise for my rapid speech and my silly accent. It kind of happens when I'm to talk very fast.
You've got a lovely accent.
My twang. Right. This is a good one. Chineri says there's been a lot of criticism over the RNG nature of the crafting and the craft and trash reputation increase mechanic. Yeah, like trashing items to increase your reputation. What assurances can you give to those critics who see this mechanic as non-engaging, unfun, and reminiscent of the mechanics in other games that were disliked by the players? Well, I think I've already said all I can say on that one, which is we're looking at certain things to change, but we're not going to completely throw it out. So, unfortunately, if you really hate it, you really hate it, and that's totally okay. So, there's nothing more we can really say on that one. Another question, sorry. Will full-blown Rex float in space at some point, and what modules can get from? I don't think we'll ever have whole modules being got from wreckage, but there are probably some cool things coming in that area. Right, another one quickly from Jenna Hufen. I can't say the name, but it's the best name ever, but I can't say it. Yeah. Why am I finding it so difficult to find arsenic? The engineer at Nuth, I think it's Kun, wants arsenic for modifications, and I could not find it on planets. It's there. It's rank 3. It's pretty rare. Keep plugging away at that one. I believe you can also sometimes get it from mining, rarely. But that's all there is. That's all that she wrote on that one. Dark matter generator. What are the plans for the new livery items in the game? Spoiler: bumper wings. No comment. Are you sure you're not hallucinating? I have no idea what you're talking about. Dr. Noesis. That's an awesome name. Some very important questions for me apparently. What are the chances of us ever being able to purchase a Bobble Sandro, complete with hat and loach accessories? And who do I need to bribe in order to improve these chances? Much though Elite desperately needs Bobble Space Loach. All caps with double spaces.
Now we're talking.
It certainly doesn't need Bobble Me with my jelly baby face. That would be horrific. And also, I'm really sorry, Dr. Nurses, but I have no idea who the best person to bribe is. So, don't know. Also, out of interest, since launch of
you don't need no bribes.
beta, have you noticed any significant changes in gameplay on the live servers in reaction to what players have discovered in the beta, e.g. builds changing, sudden increase in mining, mineral collection? We've seen things. We're looking at the telemetry. There have been a bunch of changes. Sometimes it's quite hard to work out exactly why things are happening, but that's why we're getting this feedback now, why we're doing the stream now, why we're seeing, I'm talking to you, telling you about the changes that we are making. So it's all really cool and exciting. Dewson, with so many more materials being collected and more of use for collector limpets, will we ever be able to synthesize them, or heat sinks, shield, cell banks, or chaff ammo? Yes, there are plans. So as I think I might have mentioned earlier, we want limpets to be synthesized. We want heat and chaff. It's in there. I just don't know when it is because there are so many things. Our database of things to do is still amazingly huge, so it never seems to get smaller, it just gets bigger. And there are some Reddit questions, so I did have a quick on the Reddit. I'm very sorry I didn't manage to do most. Reddit.
Go through some of those, definitely.
I'll do these. These are the last ones.
Thank you so much for asking questions on Reddit.
Thank you very much.
And forums and Facebook.
Tragedy T, can you confirm if and when there's a fix for Smurf mode on the way? It took me a while to realise what this was. I believe this is the blue-faced engineers.
Yes, so it's basically when they change the
it's right. So we're looking at it. I talked to Team GUI and they are looking at it. There's no ETR guarantees, especially because this issue is technically caused by unsupported modification that we allow, but we would like to fix it, and we're hopeful at the moment. So fingers crossed. Not sure when though.
There's no point. I mean, yeah.
We're definitely looking at it. So when is toning down NPCs being cheese-eating surrender monkeys going to go in? I love these. Is it making combat? It's making combat hella tedious in Python right now. Well, hopefully, as I've said, hopefully sometime in the next, sometime in the beta, coming up very shortly to a screen near you.
Hella tedious.
Okay. More, I believe. Can you change it so the fancy new controller tooltips when you hold down a fascia button are optional? These tips are currently knackering my controls somewhat rotten. I'm really sorry, but you need to explain more. So why don't you post on the forums or submit a bug report? I'm not quite sure how these the visual tooltips are messing up your gameplay. I'm not saying they're not. I don't actually understand how they could be. And also, might we see more help in game to finding certain materials? Yes, as I've said, hopefully. In soon, there will be a way to interrogate the blueprints, which are recipes, but then shouldn't be called recipes. Interrogate the blueprint to look at the materials, get some information on them, including hints and tips as to where to find them and how to find them. Any chance of speeding up a collection of materials after fighting with a big load of limpets? Takes ages of watching the little critters very slowly line up with your cargo hatch. Oh, not at the moment. Limpets are hella faster, as Mr. T would say, than scooping on a large ship. You've got to take the pain on those big ships at the moment. We are looking, and I don't know when, and it certainly won't be in 2.1, we are looking at the possibility for having resource chunks contain more than a single resource. Surprisingly, it's actually quite complex to do that. But I don't know when that's going to happen. That's another little thing, hopefully, that will be coming at some point in the future. Another Reddit one, Commander Guitar Man, I think that's how they say that. Being an Xbox GPP player and Xbox Fuel Rat, watching everything Horizon's engineers is extremely exciting. I think it is. Thank you, esteemed Galactic Intern and all the team at Frontier. I'll accept thanks on their behalf.
I've done nothing.
For community update and working hard on getting both versions as close as possible. Now to my questions. Will there be any engineers mods to increase limpet payload? For instance, being able to transfer 2 tons of fuel with one limpet. I don't think so at the moment. I think, like I say, I think limpets are one of the few modules at the moment you can't get upgrades for because they're quite problematic, but it is coming at some point in the future. And where does Samarco, I love being addressed by my surname, find all those cool clothes and accessories from shops that are very cheap, like the Budgie? Right, so Reddit Titan Electro. Wow.
Thank you,
Reddit
Titan Electro.
Yeah, thank you all the Reddit people.
That's his real name, you know.
Well, I hope so, because it's awesome. I'm going to change mine by default.
I'm going to go try and land in here.
With the current implementation of engineer crafting, experimenting with different build loadouts will become prohibitively costly. No one wants to sacrifice the super awesome equipment they spend months working on just to try something else. Buying a second ship just to try a different weapon engine, whatever, is not a good solution either. It's not that bad a solution, actually, but I take your point. This topic was discussed at length on Reddit. I had a quick look at that topic. There are any plans to solve this issue? If so, what timeframes are planned for before 2.1's release, before 2.2, sometimes in Season 2? Season 2, right. Looking at the balances of some commanders, I'm not sure that costs would ever be prohibitive. I don't know what we could charge, and they'd still be like, yeah, whatever, let's make it rain. However, it is a valid point, in all seriousness. As it happens, we are looking at the future. I don't know when. It definitely will be in Season 2. Okay, as definite as I'm ever going to say, which means possibly. Probably not 2.1, unfortunately, because we just ran out of time, but we are looking at storage, limited storage for resources, including modules. So it is on the to-do list. We understand it is very important. We ran out of time for it, but it's going to be coming, hopefully. And hopefully I'm allowed to say that. Okay.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
So no ETA or total guarantee, but that's the plan. I think that's a couple of Reddit ones.
You're nearly there. You're nearly done.
I've literally got just a couple of Facebook questions.
Woo!
Thank you very much for everyone who posted on Facebook as well. Thank you very much for all this interest. It really is awesome.
You think it's very easy.
One more Reddit one. Jimmius, why are there? I don't know why I said it like that. Why are there such small numbers of mods for the plasma accelerator? I was looking forward to improving them with my grade 5 mods. Well, there are at the moment, but engineers is an ongoing process, so I think we can expect further blueprints in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we've already done some and we're waiting for various ways to get them out there. Who knows? I'm not saying anything more. I've said too much already. Shouldn't have said that. Right, so some Facebook ones. Kevin Doblinger, I believe. How much of the engineers will Xbox players get? Obviously, we need Horizons. I'm absolutely getting it. But we'll be getting any of the features before the expansion is available to buy. Right. When Xbox gets Horizons, and it is coming, it should bring you bang up to date with the PC version, so that's everything. All the engineers, the whole shebang. So really excited and looking forward to that. Hopefully when Horizons comes out, get in there, buy it, and enjoy all the craziness that we're currently experiencing. Facebook, Mark Buck, will we see some weapon mod buffing, nerfing in the lowering in the beta? Some weapons seem overpowered, some overheat too much, some low grade mods need a buff. They have zero appeal. Well, there you are. We've already started. We've already made at least, I think, one set of changes to low-end mods. And keep giving us the feedback in the forums. Yep. Tell us where these things are overheat too much, where they need a buff, and we'll look into it. Because this is a giant amount of work that the guys, people like Mike Evans did a bang-up job on this, and Mark and Team Code, Team Design, Team Everyone.
Stunning.
They are awesome, and I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. So, but we can't do everything. That's what we need the beta for. We need the testing. So get in there and do it. And finally,
everybody,
before my voice cracks,
a big, huge round of applause for Sandy Smarco after this one. Do it really slow.
Facebook Barbosa. Can you swap engineer upgrading mods between ships with the buyback option, or is it stuck to that ship only? You can hopefully use the buyback option. We know it's not optimal, which is why we're looking at storage. But for now, the reason we felt we could just about get away with it is because you can do them.
Great.
Bad Sandy? Why am I Bad Sandy? Titus Balls.
Can't remember.
Look at that.
Because you were saying things that you probably shouldn't.
Oh God, yeah, no, you're right. Bad Sandy. Bad Sandy.
Let's not pay any more attention to those.
That is.
Everybody, round of applause in the chat. Look at all those round of applause hands.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope some of that made sense and I wasn't speaking too quickly.
I think that you were amazing and you let me just play the game and I had a nice time.
I'm really sorry, I didn't see what... I mean, I know you died. I know you flew like a derp.
I flew like a derp. That happened.
That's how I fly all the time. That's how I roll.
I really enjoyed it, and that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, at the end of the day, look, it's a game. It's not going to please. We're not going to please everyone, and so don't worry if you certainly don't like. But try and enjoy it. Get in there, especially if you're in the beta. Get involved. Just get crazy. Look at that. I'm getting all the claps.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's rather good. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's all Space
Darren Stevens, how many questions did Sandra answer? I think that was...
around 80, I think. I'm not sure.
It's
something
not
like
really,
that.
no way.
I added a few more
after.
Every
single one?
I did answer everyone that I could. I'm really sorry if I didn't get your question.
He's still in first mode. You can calm down. Slow your heart rate.
Hello.
Well, yeah, so...
Right, that's better.
There you go. So, what we gave you there was a lovely bit of feedback because thanks to your feedback, we're able to give you this feedback.
We can't do this without you doing your part. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really appreciated. Even the constructive criticism, keep it coming, absolutely. Keep it in there.
And thank you to the people who flew with me tonight. That was very helpful.
Oris Spark, Dinzir, Commander Dinzir.
Just want to say,
we salute you.
We will hopefully be doing this again next week. I think it's pretty much decided that we're going to be doing again this. Maybe not this time next week. It might be Thursday next week. I won't guarantee anything until next time. But
do what I do, which is no ETA, no guarantee. But we're going to try and make it happen. That's my mantra
for this time next week. So William Bowling says no giveaway. William Bowling, what would you like us to give away?
And it can't be the Loach. Sorry,
it can't be the Space Loach. Well, we got to wait now. It's like a 30-second. I specifically want to know what William Bowling wants me to give away.
Wow. Let's see.
Yeah. You ready?
He might have left the stream.
He's gone.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, Horizons for Xbox One, winky face. He says.
Wow, that's.
Well,
I like
enough,
your cheek. I like the cheek. It's good.
Well, funnily enough, we are still able to give that away because obviously it is coming to Xbox One at some point, as we know. So maybe we should give away Horizon Season Pass. And then if you've got a friend that you want to give it to, or an enemy that you want to improve your relationship with, or you've got an Xbox One, you haven't got it yet, how about we do that right now? So, Sandy, what is one phrase that you want everyone to say in the chat right now so we can do this giveaway?
I'm just going to go with mayhem.
Mayhem. So everybody write mayhem in the chat and I will pick somebody at random in just about 30 seconds time and then we'll be giving away.
Why are there so few bobbleheads in the store? I don't know. They're obviously very difficult to make. They take forever to make because they're awesome. I don't know. Yeah. A lifetime supply of polonium. That sounds quite illegal. Here it comes.
Mayhem. Here it comes. Mayhem.
Mayhem. All too easy.
So yeah, look out for the newsletter on Friday as well because on Friday we have. I think Mike Brooks is going to be writing a little article about the feedback that he's been receiving. That we've been receiving.
Yeah. We're trying to push out as much of this feedback that we get to you guys as often as possible because that's the whole process.
Well,
we're all in this together.
You're coming back again, Sandy. I hope you realise that.
I probably am.
Best to get your voice rested for next week.
Yeah. Well, luckily, as you well know, I'm very loud and very talkative, and I swear like a trooper. Although not on air.
You're very
I do a pretty good job.
Stop saying mayhem
terrible.
Now. Stop saying mayhem now.
Stop
and then we can...
saying mayhem.
I mean, I said that like I didn't ask them to say it. Which I definitely did, but I hope that everyone got a lot of information from Sandy, and I really do hope that was useful.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Definitely, that's what we're here for. Right?
Yeah, we're going for it.
It's time to go home, isn't it?
We overran by a tiny little bit. I'm terribly sorry.
Right. No, not your.
I'm just trying to get all of them in.
Stop. Right, okay.
The material announcement, whoever that was, right at the bottom, was that we're going to make it a bit easier for you to find them with interrogation of materials in the blueprint recipe interface.
So, we have a winner, and I'm going to write down...
Where is it? Who is it? Is it that one there?
Yeah, Esven Diary.
Esven Diary, well done.
An absolute regular on the streams as well, so congratulations.
Well done.
We've now got a copy of that you can give away to us.
Well done, well done.
Yes. Esven Diary, I think that's Esven Diary. I've got no idea.
Esven Diary.
Congratulations.
Esven Diary.
Sutton and Leo asked, I like this, case sensitive.
Oh, I like the thought that's gone into that.
Yeah, no, all I have to do is have the words. But yeah, congratulations.
Well done. Look at that. Woo. Yeah, well done.
You might be Commander
because you're worth it.
Yeah, in fact. Yeah, I think it might be a lot from he comes into the CQC streams regularly. I think it's him. Anyway, we do have a CQC stream on Thursday as well coming up where Mark Allen.
The genius.
The genius Mark Allen.
The Defense Against the Dark Design teacher.
Yeah, is going to be taking people on at CQC, so you guys should come along and take part.
Now that's really interesting.
Try and beat him. He's coming in with his X55.
I've heard he's not bad.
Oh.
He's better than me, and that's not exactly hard.
4 kills.
Well, look, I got robbed of time. Yeah. I still think it was a bit of a stitcher.
No. On that note, thanks very much, guys. Thank you all for being here, and
congratulations,
Esven Diary. I've got your name written down here, but I will send you a PM. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Sandy. It's
a pleasure.
Applause, everyone, and congratulations to everybody on the team as well who might be watching this or may not be, and yourself and your whole team for doing such a great job.
Thank you very much.
It really, really is good, and we can make it even better with your feedback. So thank you guys, and we will see you all very, very soon. Bye.
Goodbye.